I think the first step I took towards writing this movie was the world that it would take place in. I really wanted that to be a driving force throughout the movie. I wanted it to almost be its own character. I slowly started adding characters, writing their personalities, and deciding how they'd fit into that world that I created.
Alright, first day of filming. Say hi.
I think the coolest part is the idea that we came into this as best friends. That's really all it is. We filmed ourselves just hanging out and having fun, and we put a script to it, and I think that's one of the coolest things for people to see and just to have forever. Like, when I'm 40, I can look back at this movie and say this was my first real production, and this is how we spent our summer.
Action.
Just the whole atmosphere was a bigger thing. We have bloopers, and we have the regular film, we have behind the scenes, we have posters made. We want to do a big premiere for our families to see and hope that they enjoy seeing us have fun together. And that's really, I think, the most important thing about this whole movie to me.
So after I came up with the world, the next step was characters and how they'd fit into that world.
My character, Billy Murphy, is a film student in college. Of the pair between him and Mike, he's the kind of outgoing one. He calls the shots. He's kind of more forceful in what they do. Kind of telling Mike what to do at times.
Billy comes up with an idea to visit this abandoned asylum where a legend's been told about this lone inmate that's been there for supposedly many years.
And they end up going, and they find out that it's not a myth. Elijah Crow's real, and they accidentally let him out.
James did a good job developing his character as Elijah Crow. He was absolutely brutal, did not care about, he had no morals, he cared about no one. He's been in the asylum, he knows how to fight, he knows how to get his way, and he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants.
I think the movie villain with no code is the scariest type of villain. That was one of my main things when I was writing Crow's character, was I wanted a lot of moments where you're not sure what he's gonna do.
Get down on the ground now.
I would say probably a good month or two before we shot the movie, we went to the Kings Park Psychiatric Center.
We drove half hour, got there, and there it was. It's this massive building, huge.
That was really cool. We didn't film any like scenes there, it was kind of just for raw footage. So like when we were actually filming the movie, at scenes where we were supposed to be inside the psychiatric center, it kind of helped me put myself there instead of being in a building or a backyard or a house.
I like the idea of taking your villain and putting him face to face with your protagonist. And having Billy do it is even more interesting because of the connection that they have. Billy being forced to hide that connection because he knows Mike and PJ are watching and he's not ready to reveal that yet. The gravity of that scene it's really intense. We filmed that scene in Mike's garage. The other half of that scene when Mike and PJ are watching the interrogation from an outside room. That outside room is actually this boiler room.
James learned a lot through school, so he's been able to figure out many different shots that were much more intricate, and he was able to do more special effects this movie.
Because this was my first movie, I included people that are important to me. I knew right away Vin was going to be my cop, and being able to put my Uncle Rich and my parents and my grandparents, and having that to look back on and say that Nanny and Poppy were included in my first movie is really special and means a lot to me. There's something really fun about making a movie with your friends. We laugh harder than I've ever laughed.
Most bloopers towards lines has to be Billy.
Ready?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, well, he shoulda thought about that. Okay.
If we included everything in the bloopers between mess ups and just me,
Hi.
we'd probably be like at the 6 hour mark. I don't know, maybe more.
At one point, we thought it would be cool. We had an extra door. Let me know where we found an extra door from. But we had an extra door, and we were like, "Oh, okay, it'll be cool." Like us, like doing a real with actual props, so we don't have to CGI anything in. Like, this is some real deal type stuff, right? You going to the top? You gonna drop it? Yeah. Mike, watch your arm, bro.
And on the third take, Billy and Mike got their lines right perfectly. I threw the door, couldn't see it. All you saw was it come flying down the stairs, and the door cracked in half.
It broke in half! The door snapped in half! No! We can no longer say that no doors were harmed in the making of this film.
The door is broken.
This is my first real feature film, I would say, but probably my 5th or 6th time writing a script and putting a camera in front of it, and that goes back to as early as like 2007.
I mean, the first movie, we were looking the other day through old hard drives, and I think it was like 8 minutes of pure crap.
I got a camcorder, like a little flip camera, and Billy and I, no scripts, no planned shots, nothing, just the two of us. Occasionally my dad. We would go out and we would make a movie. And now, having Mike and PJ thrown into that mix is even better. It's so much fun, and it's memories that I'll look back on for the rest of my life.
No, we were just filming that for the
He just ran up and down the block so that he could be out of breath for the scene.
Was I supposed to say my line?
Mike is straight jacketing James.
Is that gonna fit?
There you
Go
go.
for the ground.
Push, push, push!
But someone help me pull this out a little.
No, you're on your own here.
Lifting me off the ground.
There's a ton of people who made this movie work. The cast, the crew, everybody. But it would never be possible if it wasn't for you guys. And I'm super grateful for everything. So from all of us who worked on Ravenwood, thank you.